All right, everybody, back with a brand new Friday review. This is the Friday edition of the Cabral Concept. Really appreciate you being here. Love the support from the community, especially this time of the year. We've got holidays. We have so much going on. So thank you so much for tuning into the show. We've got a great one for you here today. I always love bringing you on Fridays 2 new research studies. So we'll be talking a little bit about microplastics today and the number one source of them. So an easy one to stay away, hopefully. But then we have a nicer one on sleep. Even if you miss a good night's sleep a couple nights a week, how to make up for it. We'll talk about that. I've got a quick tip today instead of a new book review. I know this time of the year, hours might be short in the day. I'm going to, of course, keep bringing you new great books, but I've got a quick tip that I want to share with you here today. One that's going to improve brain cognition, immune function, exercise, blood flow, cardiovascular. Maybe you can guess what it is. We'll talk about that. And then also for people that like to work out and use the Apple AirPods, but don't want all of the radiation or the potential issues that come with putting an AirPod inside of your ear, I want to share with you a little safer alternative. All right, let's dive right into the show. Before we do get to all of those great items on this Friday, I always love to give you a little insight as to what's going on with the private practice. This year, just like you, exciting time of the year, one of my favorite times of the year, leading towards Thanksgiving and then the holidays, of course, in December. But we like to do this once per year, and this is our holiday sale over at EquiLife. I know you heard at the start to the show, but I just want to share with you the very best prices and deals of the year are going on right now. So head on over to stevencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over to EquiLife. And if you've been thinking about becoming a certified health coach or want to really do a deep dive on your health to help yourself, heal others, heal your family, head on over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. or just ihp.coach for short. All right, let's dive into what you may have missed this past week. On Monday, we went over the top 4 ways to get more done each day. 4 simple, straightforward ways. Don't miss that show. Then Tuesday's show is the 3 types of mercury to avoid. A lot of people know about the mercury in fish, but do you know about the other 2 types and how to stay away from it? And if you test high in mercury, how to easily remove it from your body. All right. Wednesday's show was the big difference between toxic and non-toxic omega-3 fish oil. Really simple, straightforward, what to look for your favorite brand. Very, very simple. TG versus EE. I explain exactly what that is. And then yesterday's show is the mysterious cures coming from the Nordau spring water. I loved sharing some of my experience studying traditional naturopathy, even being in Baden-Baden, Germany for the World Medical Conference just a couple years back. And it just a very insightful and intriguing study that I wanted to share with you on 411 people. And just share those results. So pretty impressive. All these are available at stevencabral.com/podcasts. That's where always all of our archive shows are. All right, let's go over our product review of the week. I searched far and wide for an alternative for those people who like to go to the gym or like to go out for a run and they don't want a wire when they're running and they're moving their body. I totally get it. I've been using wired headphones forever because I refuse to do the wireless AirPods. Now I have a whole podcast on why you don't want to use them, and that's at stevencabral.com/3213. That's where all of today's show notes will be. So to make a long story short, but I want to share with you the different data on that podcast, you are putting a Bluetooth device and cellular and radiation directly into your skull. So keep in mind, the studies show that if you hold your cell phone 1 inch away from your head, the radiation and the potential cancerous tumor effects goes down dramatically. But once you touch it to your head, then the potential cancer-based issues begin to skyrocket. Well, imagine if you took your cell phone, which is your AirPod, and you put it inside of your ear, literally in your skull. Could that be worse? My inclination is yes, it is. And so what I want to do, though, is to say, I know a lot of people aren't going to go back to wired headsets. I totally get it. I still do. I still walk with them and all that. But what I wanted to do was research the best one for others and one that I may use on some of my longer runs or just races. So it's kind of like a little present for me when I get to use these. And so I had them back in the day, and they were by Bose, but Bose is a little bit more expensive, and I'm not sure they make them the same way. So I wanted to buy a less expensive pair. This pair on Amazon is about $49, so a whole lot less expensive, even than, of course, than Apple AirPods. Now, is it the same sound quality? I'm not going to say that it is, right? Bose is a better sound quality, and the Apple AirPods are probably a better sound quality. I haven't used them, but if they're like the headset, they're obviously better. But these are actually pretty unique because you put these in your ears, you can hear the music or you can hear a podcast, but also you can hear a little bit of what's going on around you. That's kind of nice when you're exercising or you're running outside and you want to be aware of what's going on around you. Okay, so you might say to yourself, well, these also go into your ear as well. But instead of the Bluetooth being in the earpiece, right, and the cellular signal, because what happens with AirPods is they send it from one to the other through your brain. That's legitimately how it works, through your skull. This one instead, about 3 or 4 inches below, is the battery, so no battery in your ear, and the Bluetooth. So it does work by Bluetooth. There's no way around that if it's wireless. Okay, so here's what happens now. This, I'll put these into my ears right now. Let me see if I am on the right side. Yeah, right side is the piece right here. They stick right in, and you can see this dangle right below my chin. So it dangles probably about maybe a half an inch to an inch away from my face, but it's not in my skull. Like, that's the big thing. And so I'm getting now the reception off of my body, and then it brings it up to the earpiece like a wired headphone, and then it goes between the two. So there's no signal between the right and the left. That's not how these work. You can take one off, they work perfectly fine individually. So each one gets its own signal from this wire. So it works more like wired headphones. Now, still has Bluetooth, so I want to share that with you, but you can also use these as a way to mitigate some of the same issues or the issues that you would have using individual AirPods. All right. So just wanted to share that with you. For many people, this might be a great alternative for maybe some of your longer runs or things like that you may choose to use. I'll link up the exact brand that I got. They're just off of Amazon, but I'll link that up at stephencabral.com/3213. This is the box right here. It comes with larger earpieces, or smaller ones, depending on your ear size. And it also comes with a USB-C charger. And it just says Sport Wireless Earbuds, but there are so many different variations. So I'm going to share the one with you that I got. And so far, so good. I've tested them out, and the sound quality, like I said, not as good as Bose, not as good as the AirPods, but a very good quality. And absolutely, like for those few times you may wear them, works great. Okay. So that is that. We've been getting a lot of requests for that, so I wanted to share with you that healthier alternative. Now, my quick tip for the week is this. A lot of people, they're thinking about doing mouth taping at night. They've heard about the benefits, the improved sleep. I would say it's difficult for facial structure changes as an adult, but opening up the airways, less inflammation, all those great things, right? But what a lot of people don't want to do, they're nervous about it, they're worried about it, is they don't think to necessarily do it during the day. So one of my favorite things to do with clients is just to say, between your breakfast and lunch, if you're not doing calls or whatever it is, put on a piece of mouth tape. And I can link up a brand as well, but there's lots of brands, obviously, for good mouth tape. And what it does is you seal up your mouth, for those people who are not aware of it. And then you can only breathe through your nose. So it trains you, while you're awake, so you're not as nervous about it, to breathe slowly through your nose and then out through your nose gently. In through your nose, out through your nose. They do make some mouth tape with a little slit that's kind of a one-way, so you can breathe out if you need to. But just getting used to using your nasal passages for breathing in and out is absolutely phenomenal. You can also use it when you're doing zone 2 light cardio. So it also trains you to stay at a lower heart rate in zone 2, something that I sometimes do as well. If you're someone that has difficulty nasal breathing because you have a deviated septum, use a nasal strip as well to help open up those nasal passages while you're mouth breathing. But even doing mouth taping during the day can improve your nitric oxide levels. And as we get older, our nitric oxide levels continue to fall each decade. This is a problem because nitric oxide improves our brain function, heart function, our energy, our mood, and our immunity. So, but we can get our own natural nitric oxide with some good nutritional supplements, but really, we want to get it through nasal-based breathing as well. All right, so that's the quick tip of the week. Hopefully that was helpful. 2 research studies coming at you right now. I always like to end with the positive, so I'm going to start with the negative. The negative is this: the number one source of microplastics. A lot of people have been learning more about microplastics and all the crazy statistics, like we end up getting a credit card worth of plastic inside of us every year or 10 years or whatever it might be. And it's outrageous, but it's true. I mean, there's plastic everywhere in our environment. But the number one source is from our diet, and it is from plastic water bottles. So the number one source of microplastics, this is, I'll give you the data out of this, and I'll link up the study. They have an average of 94 particles per liter. And so and this was out of a 2024 study. And the recommendation, though, is to use tap water, which again can be okay, but to filter it. So I talked about this on yesterday's show. The number one thing that we use in our practice now to just guarantee clean water is an under the sink reverse osmosis. Doesn't really take up no space on top of the counter, very little space under the sink, and it moves through this filtration system. It's actually 4 parts. And then it adds minerals back to your water, so you're not drinking dead water. And then if you want to take it to the highest level, you can then move it through what's called a hydrogen water ionizer that then adds hydrogen to your water to make it an antioxidant water. Definitely tune in for yesterday's show if you missed that one. You can find all my tips on the best drinking water, how to filter it, etc. at stevencabral.com/hydrogen-water. But the best thing that we can do is filter our water. Now, there are other great brands of water, and one of those is Mountain Valley. So that's a great brand that you can go with. There are others as well. But if you enjoy yourself a good sparkling water, maybe with dinner or something like that, San Pellegrino can be a great one as well in the glass bottles, not the plastic. So my family uses the reverse osmosis with the mineral added back, moves it through the hydrogen ionizer, and then at dinner, I like a little sparkling water, usually Mountain Valley or San Pellegrino. All right, so that is it on bottled water, but stay away from those plastic bottled waters. They are so detrimental. They're heated up on the back of the delivery trucks. It's terrible. It's so detrimental for us. All right. And I said we would end on a positive one, and we are going to. So this is a common question. Can we catch up on sleep if we sleep in on the weekends? And in terms of at least cardiovascular health, in the European Society of Cardiology, they did a study on it. And they found that a new study of more than 90,000 people showed that those who had the most catch-up sleep on the weekends had a 20% lower risk of developing heart disease than those with the least. So if you're someone that only gets 7 hours of sleep, Monday through Thursday, we'll say, but you can get 8 hours on a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, phenomenal. Or maybe just Friday night and Saturday night. So Saturdays and Sunday mornings, you sleep in 1 extra hour. It does a tremendous benefit for your heart. And if we keep in mind that heart disease is the number one killer still, then it's a great thing to look at. So 20% less risk by getting just a little bit more shut-eye on the weekends. Hopefully this entices you to not necessarily get up as early as you could on the weekends, but get a little bit more sleep. Thanks everybody for tuning into the Cabral Concept. Of course, if it was helpful, send people on over to stevencabral.com/3213, where all of today's show notes, big takeaways, and links for all the product reviews and research live. Have an amazing rest of the day. I'll be back tomorrow with our Cabral House Calls, answering all of our community's questions. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.